Okay, so I want to introduce you guys to one other person here. I want to bring on Tanya. Tanya, I hope you are still there. Tanya is one of the most incredible people I've ever had the ability to work with. I actually went to Tanya's home in Tennessee and I helped Tanya build a podcast studio. It was a good time. We had a wonderful time, and we built an absolute beautiful, beautiful, beautiful podcast room for Tanya. So Tanya, do me a favor for everybody who doesn't know. Tell them your name, tell them where you're from, tell them what you do.
So I'm from Franklin, Tennessee, which is a suburb of Nashville. I'm originally from Mississippi, but I practice functional medicine and longevity medicine. I am menopausal, and I have been in the healthcare space for probably almost 40 years. Golly. I came out of Big Pharma. I have a PhD in biochemistry and I worked in drug development with Big Pharma for a long time. And then I saw the brokenness to the system, and that's what made me go back to school at 48 and I became a nurse practitioner. And then I've also become board certified in functional medicine through the Institute of Functional Medicine. And I just, I really love fixing people. I take on big, complicated things. That's kind of my gift is fix a problem that no one else can fix. And I do it primarily through diet and nutrition and lifestyle and a lot of labs, a lot of specialty labs that, interpreting some high tech labs like organic acids and things like that. And so I have launched a supplement line that I'm trying to make a give back program to the military that will buy functional medicine labs for our military. Because as you know, a lot of these are not covered by insurance, particularly like TRICARE. And if you know anybody who's in the military, they don't make any money. And a lot of these labs can be like $300 and $400 a piece. And Jeremy's helping me get that going.
Oh yes, and Tanya is so modest. I'm laughing right now because you said, we have a lot of labs. Well, again, I think it's all relative, right? The word a lot could mean a lot to a lot of different people. So when I was at Tanya's, I got there on a Saturday, and usually Fridays are actually I got there on a Friday, right? Yes, I got there on a Friday, and Friday is your day to kind of decompress, right, Tanya? Friday's your day to kind of go through your patient labs, do your dictations. That's your kind of day to like what you call unwind, which I don't see how because I was there. But that's your day. So when I got there, Tanya says, "Yeah, how many labs did you have to go through that day, Tanya?" It was like 100 and some odd labs or emails or whatever it was. And I was like, "How is that possible?"
I
How,
just
how,
stay, I just stay on it all the time.
it's incredible the business that you've built, Tanya. Like, so Tanya has when I say thriving, I can't even like begin to tell you. I've seen this with my own two eyes. I've been working with Tanya for a very long time now, and Tanya's fully booked and cannot even bring on a new patient into her clinic. Like when Tanya and I started talking about growth, Tanya said, "Wait a minute. I can't. I can't bring on another patient. I just can't. I just don't have the capacity. I can do social media. I want to become an influencer. I want to become an authority, but I cannot bring on a single patient." Am I right, Tanya? Is that not what you said?
Someone has to graduate for someone to get in. And I currently take care of about 1,800 functional medicine patients, which is a big number in the functional medicine space.
Huge, massive number. And when you say 1800, like I want you guys to understand something. Tanya said it earlier. She's been in this business for almost 4 decades. 4 decades. Thousands and thousands of cases of PCOS, diabetes, menopause, thousands. We actually were on a call yesterday, and Tanya blew my mind, like blew my mind when she said, I'm working with a doctor. I met a doctor who recently blew up a new brand, and that doctor had an N of, what was it,
12,
15 or 12?
12,
12. And Tanya started laughing because what was your N? N of what?
probably 6,000.
How many? 6,000? Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
compared to someone who went completely bananas over 15 or 12. So again, Tanya's an amazing human, has tremendous, tremendous value that she provides to the functional medicine community. Um, I wanted to bring you on, Tanya, because self-admittedly, I'm not speaking out of turn. Tanya will tell you that she is probably not the most technical person. Am I
Mm-mm.
right, Tanya?
Oh gosh. No, not in any way.
And in fact, Tanya usually says to me, Jeremy, can you help me with this? Am I right? Like, and I
Every
have
day.
no problems. I have no problems helping you, walk you through this, show you how to do it. In fact, what I want to do is I want to do what I promised yesterday on our call that I would do. So I want to stop sharing my screen. I want you to share yours now that you're a panelist. And I want you to share your screen and I want you to open up Chat GPT on your side.
Can
And
you
I can
see
see
it?
it. I can see it.
So, so I'll tell you what I've done, and just for the audience, I have never even remotely attempted to do any of this. Yesterday, I was talking to Jeremy, and he was telling me he was going to do this course today, and I said, "Can I come?" Because you know, I didn't even. I think I purchased Chat GTP maybe 40 days ago. And I'm literally kind of using it like Google, nothing of any capacity. And I said, okay, well, I'm gonna, and you are so welcome to chew this up, Jeremy. I said, so I'm gonna just try to create a course on the metabolism in menopause, because I treat a lot of menopausal women, and maintaining healthy aging is complex. It takes a lot of moving parts. It's a lot bigger than just an estrogen, which a lot of people believe. So what I did, Jeremy, is I uploaded a clinical study that was a meta-analysis. I uploaded a PDF presentation that I thought was really good at a peptide conference. Then I uploaded some of my little menopausal rules, and I uploaded things that I wanted it to just say. I said, please include this, please include that. And I've just kind of been trying to say, hey, do this. And it'd give me, do you want that? And I'm like, yeah, give me this. And this is what I've come up with. And you can say, okay, and this would probably be a great opportunity to say, hey, this is what she did wrong, so that other people can learn from me not know what I'm doing. But yeah, and you won't hurt my feelings. Anyway, so this is the course that it spit out for me, and I actually asked it, it gave me like 13 slides, and I'm like, I want more. I want it to include why vegetables important. I want it to talk about why estrogen and testosterone is important. And I could even add more to this. I could say, please talk about the benefits of progesterone on the brain. And it came out with 20 to 23 slides. Now, I don't know, is that too long, too short? I'd like to eventually make this not a real expensive, but just a small paid course. And tell me if that's a wrong idea too. And the reason I think that is because people put money in it, they put some skin in the game.
That's
They're
right.
going to read it.
That's right. 100%
If,
agreed. And that's the whole kind of mind shift that I talked about earlier with the lead magnets. There's been a major shift because people right now have become numb to content. Everybody's giving away an ebook. Everybody's giving away the next big secret in a guide, or everybody's giving away something. But the thing is when they have to take out their credit card and put some skin in the game, they're going to take it serious. They're going to give you a real email so that they can track their purchase. You're going to be able to hold them accountable because you can see how much of that course they've actually completed. Did they complete 5%, 10%, 15%? Did they not even start it? And if they didn't start it, you can send them a nudge and you can say, hey, by the way, I've given you access to the course and you haven't even logged in. Did I do something wrong? Question mark. You see, you can send them nudges if they're not doing anything with it. So to that point, you're brilliant for thinking that way. And of course, we talked about this yesterday about, putting yourself in a position where you can start selling digital assets that have zero fulfillment cost, right?
right.
That's the whole goal here is we can actually look at our business at the end of the year and we can say, okay, our business generated $1 million. 40% of it came from supplements. 60% of it came from courses. You made $600,000 on selling digital assets, and you only made 40% on your supplements. 400,000. You pay taxes on the supplements. You don't pay taxes on the courses. You don't pay taxes on the digital assets. So at the end of the day, you've created this shift, this paradigm shift by offering that digital asset and be able to monetize it. So I applaud you. I applaud you for the fact that you figured out how to add that file. So congrats on that and give yourself that credit because you just said you wasn't technical and look at you showing off. So congrats on that, Tanya. And to this point here with the course, I do want to chop this up, but it's really not your fault or ChatGPT's fault for that matter. So here's what I want you to think about when you're building these GPTs, Tanya, plural, they need to be specific. They need to have one uniform intent, like one unique intent that it does. Whether that's labs and it's reading labs, great. That's its only thing. It's not going to make blogs. It's not going to do other things. It's not going to build courses. It's just going to do that one thing. So here, if we want this particular GPT to be a course consultant or a course
Okay.
corrector or a course creator. We make this GPT a course creator and we give it all of the logic, all of the things that you want it to do. We give it to it as part of the instructions where we say, look, I want you to do this, 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 and this. And you literally tell it what you want it to do. Then you supply it with the documentation and say, I'm going to give you some documents that are supporting documents. So what is the purpose of this GPT here that you built? What is its intent? What did you want it to do?
Well, I started out because you said that we could do it per subject. So I was thinking I just named it. I did like what you did and went in and gave it a name like we did yesterday, and it called it the Menopause Metabolism MD. I'm like, okay, that's how I will identify it. And let's see, I told it the module, what did all did I tell it? I don't remember exactly what I told it, but I said, hey, I want this to be a course that people pay for.
I'm going to request remote control access, Tanya. I mean, you're used to this from our calls. I'm going to do one thing. I'm going to actually use yours as an example here.
Okay, so let me approve. You just do whatever you do.
Perfect.
It's gonna be fun.
So I am on Tanya's screen right now, guys, and I'm going to actually take this and I'm just going to expand it out a bit. And I want to do a little bit of a deep dive. First thing I want you guys to notice here, and this is actually, really cool. This is what we talked about earlier, where I said it goes into canvas mode, and inside of canvas mode, you can edit. So, like here, where Tanya mentioned earlier that she would add some additional things, you can do that. You can come here and you can add. You see how when I click, the cursor puts the cursor wherever I click. So you can remove things, you can add things, and it will commit it to memory. Whatever you update, it'll save. So that's one thing. The other thing you can do, and I don't know if you guys saw this, but there's a little pencil down here. And when you hover over this pencil, it opens up all of these unique little folders here that have all these cool things like emojis. The other one you can add is final polish, which will actually go through it and check for different types of things that maybe you're not seeing. It might check for spelling errors, it might check for grammatical errors, but it's going to polish the content. How about this? Reading level. You can actually change the temperature of the reading level. So you can change it from right here where it is, and instead I can say, let's change it. Let's bring it up a notch. And you can bring it up to high school level. You can keep going up to college level. You can bring it all the way up to graduate level. Or you can dumb it down and you can say, hey, put this at a kindergarten level. Maybe it's something super, super complex. And you're like, hey, I need this at a 5-year-old level. Maybe bring it up to middle school, right? So you have control over what this looks like through the lens of how you want it to be conveyed from your patients. So use these tools when they're available to you because these tools, most people don't even know they exist. Most people don't even look here. Adjust the length. Usually people go in and say, write another 200 words. Well, you don't have to. Just come right here, click adjust length. And then you can adjust the length. You want more, add more. You want short, add short. So you can totally change the dynamics just by clicking on these little cool gadgets here whenever it goes into this what's called canvas mode. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to come up here to the top left. I'm going to click on this drop down. And then I'm going to go in and this is the one you created, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You gonna rename it?
Yep. No, no, I'm not going to rename it. I'm just going to go in and I'm going to edit. And I'm coming into edit because I want to take a look at this. I want to take a look at the set of instructions that are here. So I'm going to click on this. It's going to open it. And let's see, this GPT acts as a medical informed guide with focus menopause, premenopause, operating with a perspective of comprehensive knowledge not is designed to help with the user. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy all of this. I'm going to come over to ChatGPT here and I'm just going to right click. I'm going to click duplicate. And then I'm just going to back out of this and I'm just going to go to the regular old ChatGPT. I'm going to click on new chat. And in the new chat, I'm going to say, I have created a new GPT with the following set of instructions. And then I'm going to say, review these instructions through the lens of a GPT engineer and tell me what I am missing and how to make this better. Send it. Your instructions are clear, advanced, outlined. Let's go. What's already excellent? Beautiful. Okay, so for the tone and the style, I'm going to update this after using my tone analyzer because we're going to use your specific tone, your specific patterns, but I'm going to use all the rest of this.
I see what you're doing. So you're just taking what I did and improving upon it.
Correct. And you're going to do this every month. This is how you're going to optimize your GPT is every month you're going to come in and you're going to say, it's been 30 days since we've last updated the GPT. Review this through the lens of a GPT engineer and tell me what I can do to make this better. And that's it. If there are any problems that are coming up, you can fix them right away by simply copying the instructions as I did, coming in here and saying, every time I use these instructions, I'm getting this, and instead I need this. And all you got to do is tell it to give you the new set of instructions incorporating what you want, and you just copy it and paste right over the existing instructions. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Perfect. So here we go. Here it is. Certainly, here's your copy paste roll. So I'm just going to copy this just as it sits, and I will replace the brand voice after. Paste. There it is. Done. So now you notice that update button over here in the top right just flashed because I just added a whole new set of instructions here on top of the ones that were existing. I closed it, and now you have to update. If you don't update and you just exit out of here, it won't save any of that. It'll just go back to what it was. So now when you go to review your GPT, it's now going to be reviewed to be able to do all of the things that this updated version now does. So I would say if you're looking to build courses, specifically course content, that we build a GPT specifically for course content creation, right?
Okay.
I would say we build one specifically for that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say we're going to keep this in our sidebar. So now your Menopause Metabolism MD is right here. So you can always come to this one. I'm going to go back to GPTs. Actually, before I do that, I'm just going to come here real quick. I'm going to do it the easy way now that I taught you this. I would like to build, and for those of you guys watching at home that, maybe you just finished building your GPT and you're looking for ideas for new ones, here's a really good one because this is what we're going to be covering for the next hour after our break here. We're going to be covering education and how to create educational content like what Tanya is looking to create right now. So I would like to build a GPT that can help me structure and create course level content. These courses will be both short and long form. Check this out. Set of instructions for my GPT. Send it. So I know I've kind of bounced around and showed you guys a bunch of buttons and a bunch of different things that you can do in ChatGPT. This is definitely an ever-evolving platform. There's one button that I really, really want to share with you guys, and it's this button here, Tools. So if you click on Tools, it shows you a lot of these: create an image, search the web, write a code. But this one right here, run deep research is the one that I really want you guys to pay attention to. Because when you tap on this thing, it opens up an entirely new world. You are going to have a certain amount of credits on deep research. So if you notice here, it says 25 left, more available on July 21st. So it only gives you a certain amount of credits for 1 month. So you got to be very careful when you come in here and use this run deep research. But I'm going to show you when I would use deep research. And deep research takes quite a while, sometimes could take 30 or 40 minutes for it to prepare and do its search. But it is combing through everything to find what it's looking for. And it is the absolute and most incredible way of building these GPTs. I told you guys there was some advanced level building. This is the advanced level building that I talked about. So this gives you the opportunity to look at this basic level prompt here, which is not basic, but it gives you this set of instructions. And we can come in here and we can actually say, and now instead of just hitting enter, I'm going to come here to tools and I'm going to pick that deep research and then I'm going to go. And it's going to take some time. It's going to say, hey, before I do this, answer some of these questions. Will it be built in ChatGPT? So I'm just going to do this. 1 period, yes. 2 period, will you need it to support multimedia or file uploads? Yes. 3 period, should the GPT adapt to tone format based on a different user persona? Clinical versus layperson? Yes. Yes, I will provide this later. And then number 4 was, do you want it to interface with tools like Notion, Canva, LMS platforms? So for now, we're going to say yes. Send. So I just gave it the 5 answers or 4 answers that it's looking for. And now it's going to go in and it's going to start doing its research. It's going to kind of go through and identify what does GPTs that build courses like this look like? What are they currently using for their logics? And what should you use for yours? And it's going to come in and it's going to implement a nice detailed set of instructions that you're going to be able to copy and go paste. So I do this step once a month. At this point, I have to pick and choose my poison because I only get 25 uses of advanced research or deep research. So I'm really careful as to which ones, because at this point, I think I've got close to 40 or 50 GPTs. So I have to really kind of be careful of which ones I'm updating. But every month I grab the instructions that I've built, I bring them in here and I say, hey, do a deep research through the lens of a GPT engineer and tell me, what am I missing? What can I do to make this set of instructions even clearer and better? And it will do its thing and it'll come back and it'll give me this unbelievable instruction that I can just copy and go paste right over the existing copy. So this will take some time, Tanya. It'll do its thing. We'll come back to this. We'll revisit this. You see where it's at right now? It kind of shows you one source has gone through, but look at the bar. So this is probably going to take a good 10, maybe 15, 20 minutes. And then it'll come back and it'll give us its response. When it does, just do me a favor, kind of raise your hand, and then I'll come back to your screen and I'll jump back in and kind of finish the building of this one. But I want to build one. I'll kind of give you my logic, my thinking. I want to build one here for you that will develop any kind of courses, whether they're micro courses, whether they're mini courses, whether they're full-blown courses. I want to be able to have one here built so that you can come in and say, I want to build a course on this. I've uploaded some documents on menopause. I'd like to build a course on menopause. I've uploaded some documents on PCOS. I'd like to build a course on PCOS supporting the documents I've given. So you can supply it with information and then ask it to return what you're looking for. So we'll build that as soon as this finishes. And
Sounds good.
amazing. Any questions on any of this stuff, Tanya, as I was doing it? Any questions come up? Anything that you saw me do that you're like, that seems hard?
It all seems hard.
I love your honesty. I love it. I love it. She's like,
I'm
yeah,
just sitting
it's
here
all
going,
hard. So, anyways, I appreciate you hopping on, Tanya, and I'll bring you back on as soon as this is done. Like I said, just kind of, you'll see the little raise hand. Just click that raise hand. That way I know it's done. And then I'll come back and share your screen and we'll pick up right where we left off.
okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for hopping on and being so awesome. All
Jeremy,
right.
quick question.
Whoop. Go ahead, Adrian. Yes, sir.
So if I enter the prompt verbatim, how you had listed it, and I got a different output, basically saying things like, are there specific platforms like Teachable, Kajabi, Thinkific that you're designing content for?
Mhm.
That's something that we should be paying attention to. Is there like a list of specific things we should be looking for in the build for some of these things, or is it going to just make those suggestions differently every single time? And it seems like that's a consistent theme, but is there a way to prompt it to make sure that it's always outlining these things, or just because it?
100%. Yeah. So that's again part of the instructions that you want to feed it, right? Like right now, I'm being extremely general because I'm not sure what you guys are building. But what I would suggest is the more context you give it, the more logic you build in, the more it's going to use. So
Okay.
if you know you require X, Y, and Z, then make sure you let it know, hey, I need every single time you produce the output to include this, this, and this. Or if you wanted to exclude, then you would tell it exclude this, this, and this.
Okay, makes sense.
Got it?
Thanks.
Now, when it comes to Tanya here, I basically gave it the prompt, and here's what it came back with. It said, great, course content architect. It should have this role. It should have this tone of an audience. So your tone should be reflect the professionalism and warmth and trusted educator. Of course, we delivered public, okay? Match the tone. Okay, let me go down here. What is this GPT do? Co-structuring. So this is exactly what was missing with what you were trying to do right here. You see this course structuring? This is what was missing, Tanya. Before, when you were showing me those slides were just slide decks. Those were just, those weren't structure at all. That wasn't modules, lessons. That wasn't any kind of structure. And that's exactly what this is. See how it's breaking it down into modules and lessons of development. Then it's breaking it up into interactive and visual learning assets,
Mhm.
formatting and repurposing, which this is what you're going to be doing very soon here is the repurposing side. So what it's doing here is it's suggesting all of these things as part of its knowledge base. Same thing here, the quality and the style. Avoid this, add this. So if there's anything that you want to add in addition to, this would be a great time to do that. This would be the time to do that. This would be the time to say, hey, I want you to do this. I want you to use this reference point. I only want to use clinical data. I don't want to use anything else. I don't want to use data from the web or data from here or there. John Joe Smith as the author. Don't want to use it. I only want to use proven, reliable source data,
Can
right?
you say that?
Absolutely. Why not? You can say whatever you want to say. You're building this thing. It's your dream come true. This is like a genie. You rub the bottle and now it's saying, what do you want? Right? So we could tell it exactly what we want. So type it in. Type in, I would like to only use data from credible sources. Or you can put clinical data, whatever type of data that you want it to reference, this is where you tell it to do that.
And how does it decide what's credible?
Well, that's the thing. If it's for you, that's why I said if you're looking for specific type of data, whether it be clinical, research, whatever, that this is where you type it in. So if there's a specific type of data set that you want it to use, this is where you would tell it only use Wikipedia, only use PubMed, only use whatever resource you want it to use.
Will it understand evidence base?
Evidence-based, it will understand, correct.
Okay.
Perfect. Now here's what we're gonna do. Because if you notice here, it gave me the instructions up top. But then when Tanya suggested that she only wants to use evidence-based data, it says, great, let's add to the instructions. So it only added this piece, but it didn't give us the full version copy paste. So what I said here is provide me with one copy paste set of instructions that I can copy and paste into my GPT. The new instructions will be overriding the existing set. So I'm basically saying like, hey, by the way, whatever you give me, I'm copying and pasting right over my existing instructions. So here we go. And now this is where the fun begins for you, Tanya, because now that I've copied this, this is now where we're going to go into your existing ChatGPT and we're going to fix it. So we're going to click on GPTs. We're going to come up here to create. Now you guys have seen this a couple of times. You guys should be pros at this. But let's just go ahead and just paste this right here. Look, this is a little bit advanced because I'm coming in here to create a brand new GPT, and instead of having a conversation with it, I'm just pasting the instructions I already know I need to paste. And then I'm just going to name it course creator. So whenever you log in, you'll see it. I'm just going to go ahead and use DALL-E 3 to just create an image just so that it doesn't have just like a gray circle. And then we're going to click create. And then we're going to make it for anybody who has the link. We're going to save it. And you can make it only for you. But again, this would be good so that you can kind of test it a little bit. This would be great that you can share with people if whatever, if somebody's looking to build a course, you're like, hey, I got a course creator. Go in here and build a course. You can send them right here and they can go build it. Once you can view it, you can play with it. So now that we can view it, Course Creator is live, and you can go ahead and upload any documents you want as a user right here by clicking the plus sign. You can click the plus sign, you can click Files right here, and you can add those PDFs that you were adding before. You can add them here, and you can say, using the uploaded documents, create me a course outline. Not a course outline. Remember, once it gives you the outline, you can then look at it and say, I like this, I don't like this, change this. And then once you're happy, you can say, now that I'm happy, let's take it step by step and let's build out the course content, starting with the introduction. All right, so let's talk about this. What kind of course are you looking to create? A mini course, a micro course, a mega course? What are you trying to create?
Let's go. What's a mega course? How long is a
Well,
mega course?
that's the next question I was going to ask you. So, how many modules would you like the course to have?
Oh, I can make it as big as you recommend. In
Okay,
other
how about this? Let's see what ChatGPT comes back with, and then we'll make a decision at that point. I have uploaded a file and would like to develop a course around this. Provide me with a course outline. Let's see what it comes back with. I'm going to show you guys something here because this is a super, super valuable lesson. I don't care what it says here. Honestly, it can build the most amazing course on the planet. I would never just run with what it's showing here. For one, I can tell right away that this was AI generated because it's the same exact structure and schema throughout. There's 3 lessons on every single module. It's very robotic. There's absolutely no difference between the structure and between module 1 and 2. To me, this is very, 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 very basic. So there's 2 things that I want to do here. The first thing is, again, I said very, very beginning of our day, I said that everything starts and ends with what you tell the system. So let's go back to what I originally said here. I'm going to click on the pencil. I have uploaded a file and would like to develop a course around this. Provide me with a course outline. So basic input, basic output. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
The more basic the input, the more basic the output. Very simple math. So I'm going to give it a little bit more context here. I'm going to say, I provide me with a course outline valued at, because see, now this is where the rubber meets the road. This is where it really matters because this is where we actually can now start to monetize. We can now make money when we can have a course that has a value of X. So let me ask you now, Tanya, what would you like the value of the information that your course is going to deliver? What would you like the value of that to be?
I don't really know what you would recommend. I do have a friend that does mostly functional medicine through like webinars and things like that. What she does, she doesn't sell her courses for very much, for like $29, but she requires you to have a membership to buy them. So whatever you recommend that the space would pay for it. I doubt many people are going to pay $3,500. You think so?
Okay, I think that's a limited belief, and I'm so glad you said that. So we're going to correct that limited belief because somebody that's on the call right now actually sells a program for $3,500. She sells this program with the teaser where her number 1 module is a hormone module. Like every single one of her purchases for the full course, that's the only module that they really give a crap about. Everything else they could do without. So they would be willing to pay $3,500 just for that one module. So what she started doing is she started releasing the modules for $799. She has 6 modules in total, and she's like, hey, I'll let people pay $700, $800 for one module if they want a teaser, and I'll tease my best module. I'll give the $800 knock right for the hormone module. And that's exactly what's been her number one mover because of the fact that she positioned it very strategically that way. So yes, I think that's a limited belief, and I think people are paying, and I can actually tell you with certainty that they are, because I can see it. I mean, we do all of their fulfillment, and we can see the level of, how many people are actually on that level of program. So yeah, there are plenty of people that are paying $3,500. What matters is how valuable the information is, Tanya.
Right.
That's what really matters, which is why you giving it a number here and telling it, I want you to create me a course that's valued at $3,500. That's very different than you saying, create me a course, period.
$29.99.
Yeah, right. Do you want this for free 99? Like, what do you want this to go out for? Like, what's the price here? So you're not giving it really any, like I said, basic input, basic output. So really the only thing I changed here is I added 3 words, valued at $3,500. That's it. That's all I've changed to this prompt thus far. So I'm going to send this now the way that I've edited it with the value of $3,500. And you're going to see some small changes happen here where now it's going to start to affect perception. Okay, well, what's $3,500 perceived to be? What should people kind of expect spending $3,500? So you can imagine there's probably going to be a little bit more justification here for some of these different modules and some of these different structures. So let's take a look at it. Personalized peptide education. Well, I think you hit on this the other day. Functional medicine, nutrition strategy, hormone optimization guide, downloadable tracker and protocols, high volume transformation outcome, energy, sleep, metabolism, cognitive clarity. Let's see, module 1, module 1, 2, 3, download. It's a self-assessment, menopause, metabolic system checklist. Okay, and it says, let's see, number 2. But see, I'm still identifying that same pattern here. See, 3 lessons, same. Now, granted, this is different because there's different assets. That's great. But this is repetitive. It's very repetitive. It's happening every time. So I want to identify that, number 1. And instead of arguing with it, I'm just going to correct it. I'm just going to give it a good input, a good solid input. And I'm going to tell it that I would like to have a variety of lessons. Okay.
What is that
So basically what this is I want to be able to summarize each module. So let's say each module has 3 lessons, 2 lessons, 5 lessons. I want to summarize it at the very end. I want to give them a quick summary, which allows you the opportunity to engage with the quiz, where you can say, hey, let's do a quick section quiz. Let's look at your retention here. Are you retaining the information, right? Maybe you put 5 questions together, 10 questions together, but it gives you that opportunity. If you do something like that, you don't have to utilize it, but I'm going to give it as part of the logic so that if we needed to, we can. So I'm basically telling it like, hey, let's start thinking ahead here. I would like each module to have the lessons have a smooth transition, meaning at the very end, I don't want it to just cliffhang and then the next chapter starts. I want it to have a nice smooth transition between the last lesson and the next lesson. So when they get to the next lesson, a quick recap on the previous lesson you learned, boom, and then right into the content. You feel me? Do you understand that, Tanya?
Uh-huh.
Perfect. So this is now going to give us a completely different output. 6 modules, 3 to 5 lessons per module. Module 1, 1, 2, 3, 4 lessons. Here's 4 lessons. Here's 4 lessons. Here's 4 lessons. So it's still 4, 4, 4. So yes, it added more, but it's still 4, 4, 4. So this is a behavioral thing, right? So now we're going to come here and we're going to go edit this behavior. We're going to fix it. So I'm glad we're doing this live so you guys can see how do we fix these problems as they're happening, as we're identifying them. How do we fix them? We come in here and we say,
And why is it you don't like them having the same number of lessons?
To me, it sounds less robotic, like it's actually not being created by AI if it varies.
100% the answer, yes. So basically what it's doing, Tanya, is it's making it impossible, not impossible, it's making it more difficult for people to be able to say that was AI. because AI is definitely going to do that. That's one of the things that it does. It creates this very repetitive logic with structure. It keeps the structure the same so you can kind of identify, okay, that's like, imagine Nike, right? Nike, everybody knows the Nike logo. That's essentially what they're doing, is they're developing a structure that everybody is picking up as AI. So if we can identify those patterns and we can interrupt them just a little bit, makes it more difficult for people to be able to pinpoint that. Does that make sense, Tanya?
Mhm.
Awesome. So here I'm just going to say restrict. What I would like to not restrict. Okay. So I told you guys earlier, like I want to have a conversation and I want to make sure that this conversation is two ways. So I'm telling it the behavior and I'm like, hey, I've noticed this behavior happening. And then I ask it to correct it. I tell it how to correct it. And then I tell it to let me know that it understands. Got it. The courses will now allow for flexible number of lessons in each module rather than matching lesson counts across the modules. You're all set. So you guys get to see that real time fixing a problem as the problem is happening. We can't make this up. Here we go. View the GPT. And now, Tanya, you can go ahead and play with it and build whatever you want to build. And as you find gaps, remember the first thing you want to do is build a course outline. So again, in here, I would just ask it to, using the uploaded document, I would like to build a course valued at $5,000. Provide me with the course layout. So now it's going to give us the course layout. Let's see, course valued at, say for instance, you're like, hey, I like this, but here I think we need to add another module. We need to add a module for X. We need another module here as well. Or maybe you're like, hey, here there's only 2 modules, we need to add another 3 modules. Or maybe here there's 3, you need to remove 1. Again, this is why we want to ask for this layout, because now you have an idea of the structure and how it's going to kind of position itself so that you can start making those changes right now. You can start affecting the way that it's going to start performing later right now by just looking at this layout. You say, okay, I like it. Now, if you like it, you move section by section. Let's start with the introduction. Let's put together the table of contents. Let's move into the module number 1, lesson 1. But the first step is making sure that you like this. Now, here's the thing, Tanya. Even if you love this, you are still going to come in here and say, review this through the lens of one of my patients and tell me what objections they will have, as well as any suggestions to make this course better. Now, again, even if you like it, you still do this because this makes it so that it's not looking at what you are looking at. It's looking at what everyone else sees, which I forget who it was that said they took this as I think it was Dr. Andrea that said that she took away this golden nugget of perception. Like that's what matters. So using this through that lens and saying, hey, look through the patient's eyes. What do you see? Super important, even if you like it. So here it is, right? Like this is stuff that you probably were not thinking. This sounds overwhelming. I don't know where to start. I don't want to take hormone injections. I already tried diets and exercise. How do I know that this is safe and evidence-based? Not sure I can stick to this. What if I fall off? You see, like there's a lot of really important questions here that maybe you weren't even thinking of. Maybe you were thinking of these and you were like, hey, this stuff was missing. Well, now it's not missing, it's here. So this is really good stuff because now that we have this insight, course enhancement suggestions, now that we have this, we can come down here and we can say, implement your suggestions and make this better. And now you have it implementing its suggestions and making it better based off all the things that it suggested above. So now it's changing the entire thing, the entire structure. It's actually adding those doables and deliverables here, main course curriculum. It's now breaking out orientation, onboarding. Oh, I like that. Movement, medicine, 4 modules here, 3 modules here. I like it. 3 modules here, 3 modules here, 3, 3. So it does change that dynamic when it adds it, when it wants it, when it needs it. So here, downloadable toolkit. I like the structure a lot. Now, what matters to me might not matter to you, but I think from a structural standpoint, what we asked for, it has delivered. It has given us that layout that we now can go through and start picking apart and saying, I like this, I don't like that. And when you get down to the very, very end, you will have an entire course structure that you should be happy with. And once you have that, that's when we can go on to the next level, which is how do we start building this content? How do we start taking this and making it into module number 1, lesson 1? Now, for some of you, you don't need scripts. You don't need them. You're like, I don't need ChatGPT to tell me what to say. I just need the meat and potato. Give me the bullets. Give me the quick bullets. Give me the questions. I can definitely talk myself, no problems, without having a word-to-word script. Some of you might not need the script to read word for word, but you need it for inspiration. Use it. Others will take the scripts and actually use them word for word. That's what they're there for. They're there to help you, to coach you, to guide you, to help you get those reps in so you don't need them. And I mean, if we think about it, don't they use teleprompters on television? Don't be afraid of it. Don't fight it. Just do it. At the end of the day, there's going to come a time where you're not going to need it. But right now, use it. I
Awesome.
try to break it. So you can play with this, be as rough as you want to be on Christmas morning with your toys. You can play with it, have fun with it. Let me know if you run into any limitations. If you have any issues, shoot me a text, let me know, and I'll be more than happy to help you.
Okay, thank you.
You are the best. Thank you.